And we are live, guys. Welcome to the Blockchain Gaming Talks number 3, episode 3. Welcome, everyone. Also, welcome everyone that is watching these on replay. And today we have with us 3 special guests, 3 CEOs of 3 Web3 gaming projects. Vadim, CEO of Boss Fighters. We have Lucas, co-founder of Psyker. And Grant Haseley, CEO of Undead Blogs. Welcome to the Crypto Herd, guys. How's everyone?
What's up,
Good,
fellas?
good. Thanks for having us.
Doing
Nice.
great. Thanks for having me.
Nice. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. Guys, with us, we have today the true OGs of Web3 gaming. So, do you want to do some small intro, talk a bit about who you are, what's your project about, for those of you who don't know you? Let's start with Ved from Boss Fighters. Who are you, Ved?
Right. I'm CEO and creative director at Boss Fighters. I have a pretty large game development experience and VR gaming experience. So Boss Fighters, it is a world's first VR and PC action game with digital assets, where you can play as VR boss to fight against the team of PC players. So it is essentially what the title says. It is world's first VR PC game. It is quite unique in the game mechanics. It's quite unique in the Web3 space. So we're doing pretty radical stuff here in terms of what I was trying to achieve with the game. So we try to merge a lot of stuff here. It is a Web3 game. It is a VR. It is a PC game all at once. And we tried to put together all our experience that we got from previous game development and try to make this game happen.
Okay, can we already play Boss Fighters?
Actually, if you ask me, I can send you the keys. But no, you cannot play it yet. It will be released on major platforms pretty soon in the closed alpha stage. But if you want, I can send you the keys and you can play the game.
Can't wait. I think I've never played a VR game. So this is going to be the first VR crypto game, right? I mean, that's exciting. That's quite innovative for the space. And yeah, I can't wait to try out Boss Fighters. Guys, we have the link in the description. Check it out. Great project. Lots of potential here. Let's go now for Lucas. Do you want to tell us who you are and what your project is about?
Yeah, so I'm Lucas,
Psyker.
one of the co-founders at Psyker. We're a fighting game with an RPG element. So think of a traditional fighting game. There's not a lot of customizability. There's not a lot of variance. So it's kind of you go in and fight. With us, we have this RPG element. So every item on your character is an NFT. So we have a loadout, as we call it. So it's a helmet, weapon, chest, arms, and legs. So you can customize those. We did 2 previous mints on through Fractal, so you can obviously, if you own a key card, you'll be able to have a loadout. So each in the metadata of the key card, there is basically a loadout for your character. So it's fully customizable. You can change the way your character looks and stuff. That will affect the PvE component, but on the PvP side, there won't be any kind of changes to stats or anything else. So
cool.
So it's kind of think of it like a traditional game where it's skins, and on top of that, we have we have a metaverse component, which is our hideouts. So we're going to be launching our keycard alpha at the end of this month. So a keycard alpha is if you own one of our keycards and Psyker keycards, you'll be able to play the game. And then we're going to go live with our kind of public beta at the end of this year.
End of the year. Okay, looks great. I've always liked fighting games. Are there many fighting games in crypto right now?
As far as I've seen, not that many. Not on Solana at least, and not with our art style. I think we have a very kind of unique AAA art style. So I think we're kind of unique in that aspect.
I love it. And talking about Psyker, we have here with us now Erick, who just arrived. Today we have a full house in the Crypto Herd, guys. Welcome, Erick, to the Crypto Herd.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Okay, and let's go now, Grant. Who are you, and what's Undead Box all about?
Well, we don't want to give Harry an intro there. He's just like, hey, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm on the Crypto Herd every week, so at least
okay.
it feels like it these days.
Okay, I'm sorry, Erick. Do you want to go and talk a bit about your background and the Psyker? You're right, Grant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so my background, I've been in the blockchain space since around 2016, but been working with Lucas for over 4 years. We've been heavy push into Web3 over the past few years, and Psyker is our first installment, our first game as part of our new Web3 game studio that we formed back in September of 2021. Psyker itself, we're reinventing the fighting game genre for Web3. RPG like customization for characters. And in terms of the gameplay, we want to provide high quality, skill based gameplay where players actually aren't just mining and minting tokens that they dump on the market, but they're actually fighting for token pools and NFTs that are scarce in PvP like modes with wagering and different models like that. But for us, we're one of the first games being built on Unreal Engine, and as a game studio, we're building a suite of tools, including wallet integrations for Unreal Engine, as well as online PvP matchmaking tools that we want other games to utilize in the space. So, yeah.
It's quite interesting. I've always liked fighting games. I remember when I was young, I used to play like Tekken 3. This somehow reminds me of that time, but with a sci-fi really cool look. Love the graphics, love the style, man. What are the tokens going to be used for in Psyker? We have a token already out, right?
Yeah, so we have an NFT collection launched already, which is our key card, and essentially what that is akin to is a founder's pass. So we're launching our closed alpha in a few weeks here, and you'll need one of our key cards to access that. Essentially, leading up to the open beta of the game, you'll have to have a key card to access the early stages for essentially testing. But the tokens themselves will be utilized for things like for wagering, so prize pools against players in PvP mode, upgrading your NFTs, repairing your NFTs, unlocking loot boxes, as well as for trading and staking. So yeah, that's what the token will be used for when we launch it later on. The game itself is currently just launching with NFTs with no play to earn mechanics currently. It's simply just about your wallet verification and verifying you own the NFTs and being able to equip them to your character. Yeah, we'll be adding our play to earn mechanisms as we lead up to our open beta.
Makes sense. Love the style. Love the style. Really hyped about Psyker.
Thank you.
So, Grant, do you want to tell us a bit about Undead Blocks, your background, and the upcoming tournament? That's quite exciting news for
Bruno. I feel like you know it better than I do. You could give the crowd the Undead Blocks 101. Nah, but thanks for having me again. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Grant Haseley. I'm the executive director, founder of Undead Blocks. We are the world's first play to earn FPS zombie shooter. Bruno's got the footage on the screen there for you. So kill zombies are in crypto. That's the moniker. We are heavily targeting esports players, people that have been competing in these free-to-play tournaments on Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, Halo, Call of Duty, etc. And so our first tournament, our first iteration of the business model goes live this weekend, Friday, July 8th through Sunday, July 10th. So players will hold a weapon NFT. They will have access to a $20,000 prize pool with $1,000 guaranteed to first place. They will have to kill 100 zombies as fast as they can. I'm sure Bruno will be up in the top quartile of the performers. But we're really excited because this is what it's all about, right? You know, we started building Undead Blocks in July. And so basically coming full circle through an entire year of game dev, it's ready to release. And we're really excited to have people play to have fun and compete to win big.
Oh yeah, can't wait. It's going to be the first time that NFT holders are going to be able to earn. So that's quite exciting. And that's a good milestone for Undead Blocks. I think you guys have been working hard, developing this amazing game. I think there's lots of potential here. I mean, when it comes to zombie games, I don't think we have any zombie game with this quality in Web3 gaming. So definitely you guys already have a huge advantage over other Web3 games that are like somehow identical. Definitely quite
I appreciate that. And one thing I will say is the first time Bruno played this game, he was blown away. And so from our perspective, just continuing to keep up that level of commitment to the craft, making sure the game looks smart, looks strong, the zombie AI gets better. That's what we're all about. But I'm happy to watch Bruno this weekend go absolutely apeshit and see how high he can get up on the leaderboard.
Can't wait. Grant. It's going to be exciting. The competition, love it. So, guys, now the first question, like about Web3 gaming. I mean, this space is becoming so exciting. We went from like 2D browser games to AAA quality games like Psyker, Boss Fighters, and Undead blocks. So we have here a few questions that let me just remove this. Yes, that we're going to talk about. So what do you guys think is the current status of blockchain gaming right now? Do you want to start with this one, Eric? What do you think is going on in blockchain gaming? Are people bullish? Are people bearish? Are people investing? Are people afraid? What's going on?
Yeah, from my perspective, I think traditional gamers are very much so afraid of NFTs still. I think it's due to the fact of how the predatory practices of current game publishers and developers with microtransactions are happening in the space, as well as AAA publishers shipping half-baked games that players pre-order and they turn out to be garbage. So for the current gaming trends, I think we're in a crossroads right now, the gaming industry, where I don't think it's been like this, where AAA publishers have put out such half-baked garbage in terms of their quality of titles. It used to be you get a fully fledged full version game at launch date, but now it's like they basically put out betas at launch date and then they slowly add on to them over time. And a lot of the times now you're having games die off before they're even fully equipped with all their features. So I think for Web3 gaming, what's important now is to kind of stray away from that and actually deliver good games out of the gate. But for Web3 gaming, the games still feel like DeFi apps. They don't feel like fully fledged video games in terms of the gameplay. Games are supposed to be about fun and entertainment first and foremost, but that's been lacking, I think, in the Web3 space. And I think the first game studios or publishers that come out with skill-based games that can actually entice traditional gamers will be the ones to succeed. I also think with the play-to-earn aspects, no one's got the economy model correct so far. And there's going to be a lot of experimentation and everyone's going to be trying their own formulas. Some will work over a short time horizon, but most will fail over a long time horizon. I think there needs to be a focus on players not just minting and mining unlimited amounts of NFTs and tokens and then dumping them. I think there needs to be a way to build economies around scarcity and have players fight over a finite number of items and resources. So for Psyker, at least, we're with our linear gameplay model with the fighting game genre, we'll have players be able to fight over the loot pools that exist in the game versus just minting unlimited amounts of items. I also think for Web3 gaming, since the games aren't that entertaining or fun yet, content creation, streaming is very much so under leveraged because from an audience standpoint, the games aren't that fun to watch. And I think games that can really tap into the content creation streaming side and build communities around streamers will be the most successful in terms of adoption, and we haven't seen that yet. So I'm excited to see over the next year what games can do and kind of the communities they can build, as well as the high quality gameplay that they can deliver.
Yeah, I believe that. I actually agree with you. I think like Web3 gaming is missing like AAA games, okay, like exciting gameplay and then a sustainable economy. So I feel like when it comes to exciting gameplay, we're getting there. We're getting there. There's so many good projects coming out in this quarter of the year. When it comes to sustainable economies, I believe that you're right. I believe that people are still figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Do you guys want to add a comment on this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Eric.
No, you go.
Yeah, I agree with Eric about the gameplay aspect. It's the point where Web3 games are currently really lacking no meaningful and interesting gameplay. So I think the formula for the games in Web3 should be almost the same as for games in Web2, because games are about fun, about players, and about the gameplay experience. And right now we see a lot of speculation, a lot of paper hands investors. They're not into playing the games. They actually want to get something from the game. But I believe all play to earn aspect and play and earn aspect must be a complementary side, complementary part to the core gameplay experience. So you cannot do much around only earning mechanics. So it has to be a complementary part of the game. So, and I really like the argument about the communities streaming aspect. That's what we also targeting with our project. We have this watch to earn mechanics where we'll at least try to onboard streamers to the project. So we trying to build this cooperation between players and spectators using Twitch API and other systems. So to expand the player base. And another point, I think, what's really important, we need to address as broader community as possible. So Web3 community, and I was reviewing the data recently for VR games, and one single VR game on Steam platform, free-to-play VR game, which is The Lab. It is essentially a set of mini games, physics mini games, where everyone installs who owns a Steam VR compatible headset. It has more players, one single game. It has more players than the whole blockchain gaming community right now. So we are super early in terms of blockchain gaming community, and we need clever ways how to bring these general gaming players to Web3 gaming community. And we don't need to do the same stuff what big publishers do. We don't need any predatory practices. We don't need shit like Blizzard is doing with Diablo. So we actually need to develop something that players can appreciate. This means good gameplay, good looking, good experience, and we want to utilize best practices from mobile gaming, best practices from PC gaming. So just move in a natural way, and on the go, we'll develop something in terms of gameplay economy. But I think it's already out there. We just need to translate it to crypto, and let's see how it goes. That's what we're doing in Boss Fighters.
That's interesting. You actually gave like some emphasis to that play and earn. Do you actually think like play to earn is that? Do you think this is the play and earn and play to own era right now?
I think it's play to own. That's where the whole that's where the gaming community basically sits right now. So we see this games as service type, and this is the most popular type of services that big publishers are providing. They mostly center around cosmetic items, around progression stuff like battle pass, etc. So we can try replicate something in the Web3 space, similar mechanics, but instead of paying with the fiat, you can pay with tokens. I'm sure it will work to some extent, and then we can iterate, getting basically on the feedback we get from that.
It's great. That's great. Do you want to add a comment on this, Grant? You were going to say something?
I mean, I think play to earn isn't dead. I think that you just can't earn anywhere right now, right? And it's because none of these games have solved the issue of generating revenue for their player base. That's, it goes back to the comment of, there's nothing to stream. If there's nothing to stream, there's no way to advertise. If these Web3 and Web2 companies don't see any value in your games, because let's be honest, they're not up to AAA quality, it's going to be a big problem. And so from our perspective, we look at this and saying play to earn couldn't be more alive. People can't earn because there are not any games that are at the quality of generating significant revenue. You look at traditional Web3 games and a Web2 gamer is just going to come on in and shit all over it. And that's, it's good because there is a lot of work to be done. I think we have made lots of strides, but from our perspective at Undead Blocks, we're looking at this and saying we really have to target the esports, the tournament community, have these people engaging, because there is a large faction of the world that will compete without having the large AAA graphics. I think you're seeing people still compete in stuff like Pac-Man. They're competing in, Mario 64. They're competing on Super Mario Brothers, just random stuff like that, Sonic the Hedgehog. And look, those games aren't blowing you away with their graphics, but the gameplay loops, there's just something to them that makes them fun, that makes them competitive and keeps them fresh. And so I do agree with all other members on the panel that the predatory ways of these Web 2 giants, even just hiring psychologists to try to crack the human brain to see how they can extract as much value out of these people as possible, it's really fucked up. But from our perspective, what we can do better is, that play to own model where you actually own your assets, in our case, own your weapons, allow players to buy, sell, and trade. Like, how many dollars are just being funneled away on skins that you truly don't own? Warzone 2.0, you don't get to keep your progress from Warzone 1.0. Like, what are we doing here? So a lot of room to improve, but I really like where we're headed. And I would say play to earn is not dead. It's just all of the games where you were actually earning an asset that didn't have any tangible value and was not collateralized by the US dollar. And I think that's a huge part of it.
Of the problem. Okay, agree. Quite interesting where the Web3 gaming space is heading right now. Exciting times ahead. So guys, now this leads us to the next question, which is, we actually saw a very bullish question, a very bullish phenomenon in Web3 gaming recently, which was Blankos. Blankos was registered on Epic Games, and they also played the Harvest game, and it was on Steam. So I had like a key, and I could like go to Steam and get a game from a key, and there it was, a Web3 game on the Web2 platform. So would you guys consider like registering your games on the Web2 platform? Because I feel like the way for Web3 games right now is either they go on like standalone modes and they create their own ecosystem, or they try to go to Web2 platforms like Epic Games and Steam, or they try to go to Web3 ecosystems like Gala, Immutable X, and now Myriad that is developing right now. But will you guys publish your games on the Web2 platform? Do you want to take the lead on this one, Grant?
Well, from our perspective, if we were just going to release a game on Steam, why even bake in Web3 tokenomics, right? Just allow people to play the game, have fun. We generate significant revenue. I get asked this all the time. Why didn't you just go through Steam? And my answer is like, we're not doing this for money. We're doing this to build a legacy and leave an impact and try to bring Web3 forward. From our perspective, the fact that Steam has banned pretty much blockchain gaming, obviously we'd love to be on there, right? I mean, I'm sure there are no ifs, ands, outs, or buts about it. But what we can do is put communities in a position where they can leverage their size, these Discords, these Telegrams with thousands of people, hundreds of active people a day, right? And so by infiltrating these different groups, having our beta on our website, we're able to receive that critical mass that we're looking for. I mean, we're almost at 10,000 downloads for our game, and earning isn't live yet. And so if you're looking at Undead Blocks right now, you're saying, of course, I'm not going to play Undead Blocks. I'm going to play COD Zombies. But when we bake in that layering, when we have free-to-play tournaments to the public, we are well-positioned in these Discords and these Telegrams to infiltrate these COD Zombies players and say, why are you playing COD Zombies for free? Come participate in this tournament this weekend for big money. And so a couple of people actually compared us to the Saudi golf tournament that is now, infiltrating the PGA. And, I kind of laughed at that. But I guess, there is a little bit of it that's true. Like if the Saudi golf tournament is 90% of what the PGA is going to offer, but people are making a lot more money, a lot of the players are going to flock there. And so that's really where we want to be as we scale up and make the game more fun. As the new kid on the block, we do have to incentivize our players to want to come in and give it a try. These Web 2 gamers, they hate NFTs because they feel like they buy an expensive NFT. They never get the game they were promised, never get a game at all, and they're not able to earn with it. And that's really why they have such a sour taste. From our perspective, free-to-play tournaments to the public is going to allow us to go viral. We don't need to be on a Steam to release a $20,000 tournament that's free-to-play and the word will get out. The entire country of the Philippines is going to show up for our first tournament that's free-to-play to the public. So I think it's just a matter of targeted marketing, showing value in your product, and making sure that you're actually delivering tangible value to your user base.
I think that makes sense. Actually, I don't even know how does it work. Like to publish a Web3 game on the Web2 platform. How that would even work out? Like they need to get a share from the game, right? A percentage of the sales or
Well,
something.
yeah, Steam is they're getting whether it's DLC packs, licensing agreements, share of the revenue and the in-game purchases. That's how Steam makes their money, right? And so by not using Steam, we keep all of that revenue, but they have the player base. It's exactly what we're going to be doing to Web 2 and Web 3 advertisers. We're going to say we have the player base, we have 500,000 Wagyu accounts. You see the value in advertising in our platform. We're going to essentially try to be, Steam, use that business model, generating a large player base, leveraging our size and scale to these advertisers to generate revenue. So, it's that, but that's where the money comes from. So many people ask us, okay, what's the catch? Where's the money come from? You're not creating a secondary currency on chain. Well, it's because we're actually collateralizing all of our earnings by generating this sort of revenue.
Okay, really interesting. So what about you, Ved? Would you consider at some point listing your game in a Web2 platform?
Actually, this is one of the most important steps in our roadmap because we already have sort of a limited player base because we need somebody to play as the boss, and this has to be a VR user. First of all, the game first developed is for PC VR, and then we ported to Oculus standalone VR, where 80% of the VR market currently sitting. So we need to release the game on Steam at least for VR players. But if we're releasing the game on Steam for VR players, why don't we release it also for flat screen players of these fighters? And there was a process how to do this on Steam. Basically, you need to split the game into two parts. So we want to have this free-to-play version on Steam and on EGS, and all the Web3 stuff is optional. So let's say you play the game, you win a special cosmetic item for your character, for your weapon, like a pink bubble skin for your fancy rocket launcher, and you have an option. You have an option to mint it as NFT. So you can choose not to do this, and you just play it as normal. But if you want to earn something with it, so if you want to sell it, then you need to mint it as NFT. And because we aim to this broad gaming community, huge gaming community from Steam players and on other gaming platforms, our revenue generation comes from the secondary market sales. So just like normal free-to-play games, that a small percentage of players, they are paying, like buying battle pass or buying like cosmetic items. In our case, they would be able to do all the same, but these assets come in the form of NFTs or tokens, and then it all happens on an external website. But the core gameplay, the actual gameplay, it happens on a game client that is released on the Steam platform.
I still didn't get something. Sorry. How does Steam earn money with this? Like these NFTs, these secondary market sales, they're happening in the Web3 marketplace, right? They're not happening on the Web2 marketplace. How does Steam get money from this?
The Steam gets money just from normal fiat payments. So we'll have two options. We have like multiple revenue streams, and we have fiat and crypto only. And Steam gets the cut from the fiat. So just normal stuff like you pay with your credit card, and so you get the battle pass. But if you pay with tokens on our platform, then
Steam doesn't get anything.
Cheap. Yeah, but it's cheaper for you, and we don't want to force players into this. So we'll have like collateralized revenue from fiat payments, and there will be an option for crypto payments. At least that's what we plan to do. Hopefully, we can pull this off. We have a couple legal pros working on this stuff, and as you mentioned, we already see Web3 games popping up on Steam, like Gala Games just recently listed their game Grid that is on Steam and on EGS. You can add it to wishlist. So hopefully they can succeed with this. We have Decimated and multiple of titles actually releasing on Steam.
Okay, so that's one of the criteria for a game to be listed on one of these Web2 platforms. you need to have like fiat payments so they can also get a share, right?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I'm learning a lot here. That's why I love to have a full house with founders of Web3 game projects. I learned a lot from this interaction. What about Psyker? Would you guys consider listing your project on a Web2 platform?
Yeah, I mean, for us, the main two logical spots for us to list in Web 2 is the mobile stores. So, Android App Store or Google Play Store and iOS App Store are two of the places that we're looking to list the game. Our alpha is going to be on PC, but then we're going to be moving over to a mobile environment. The reason being, this type of game with its linear style gameplay is a perfect fit for a mobile environment. In terms of crossplay and that type of thing, we're working on it. But the game itself, depending on what device it's on, it will share the same game economy and items. But the gameplay itself, it might have to be tuned or optimized for that platform. So crossplay might not be a thing, but you'll definitely be able to transfer over your assets and items. Aside from that, we're open to listing on the Epic Store. The reason being, Epic Games has come out and said that they're open to accepting NFT games on their marketplace, but I don't believe they've actually allowed any games thus far to launch. So for Psyker, currently, it's on the table, but more so on the mobile front. We're a Solana-based blockchain game, and for us, what was really exciting over the past few weeks was that NFT NYC, Solana announced that they're actually building their own Web3 native phone. So we're going to be using that essentially developer kit to optimize for their platform. And it's really cool to see that one of the layer ones is actually coming out with a support for mobile. And we think that's going to be very important because currently the user experience for Web3 users trying to use a Web3 native app on their mobile is very poor. So those are kind of the environments that we're looking to launch on.
Okay, quite interesting. Also, by launching into mobile, you're going to get going to hit a much broader audience.
Yes. A big audience for us is in Asia in terms of geography. So mobile for us mobile is the dominant market in Asia for gaming. So we want to make sure we can encompass that for our launch.
Makes sense. Wise strategy. Do you want to add something to this, Lucas? Or
kind of just what Eric said. Yeah, I mean, for us, obviously, kind of the end of July, our keycard alpha will be obviously kind of for a standalone launcher. This is just due to the fact that this is only going to be for people who own an NFT. So we have a 2,500 holders. But yeah, post that, I think just kind of speaking to people, mobile has a much bigger user base of players, and obviously on the PC side, we will be cross-platform hopefully by the end of the year, if not further down the line. But I think Epic is kind of easier because they're more friendly and stuff like that on the PC side. But Steam would obviously be great, but it's just I think it's a very gray area, and I believe your game can be pulled at any moment kind of scenario. So it's kind of just like gambling in a way, right? It's like your game might just get deleted one day, so it's not very user friendly.
Yeah, this actually happened with some Web3 games. They got listed on Steam, but then they got removed. So it's kind of like unfortunate. But yeah, I believe these are like major milestones for Web3 gaming. This is how Web3 gaming is going to become mainstream. Also by like going and getting some market share from traditional gaming markets, right? I guess. So guys, what about Web3 gaming platforms like Gala? Also now Miri is developing Immutable X. Let's start with Gala. Why would you start like a project from scratch instead of going into like Gala that already has like a built-in community that already has their own token? Wouldn't that like be much faster when it comes to getting your project to the masses? Do you want to start, Ved, on this one?
Yeah.
Why creating your own token, your own community from scratch? If you already have Web3 gaming communities built like Gala.
It depends on the game you're building. So most of Web3 gamers as we talked previously, at least at this point, they are not into the games. They are more into speculation. So there might be a risk. These gaming communities that these big platforms have, they are not actually gamers that will be playing your game. They are about investing. This is the risk, and you need to. So you still need to build your own community for your own game. You cannot solely rely on some other community, because they can simply cannot possibly will not match with what you're trying to build. And in our case, because we have this kind of unique VRPC asymmetric game, we need to communicate this very clearly, what are we trying to build, and we need to build our own community. But on the other hand, you get these all benefits developing on the established ecosystem. You get an influx of new players and help with the marketing. So we might consider actually switching to this ecosystem like Gala or Miria if it's paying off for us. So I think that might be a good deal if you have something already out there. If you have a community, and if you can communicate to your existing community why this will be beneficial for your project. So it all depends.
Okay, really, really interesting. Brent, would the Undead blocks, would you ever consider, did you ever consider, like, in the early stages of development of Undead blocks, going for like Gala, or what would be the advantages of that?
Well, from our perspective, we want to build the Undead franchise separate of, any sort of ruling entity. Like, I love what Gala's doing. They have some great games coming on the horizon. That really wasn't of interest to us, because I would assume working with Gala, they're going to have a lot of say in content in terms of how they want to deliver the game. So it just made more sense for us to go through a venture capital raise. I have very good connections and relationships with a lot of venture capital partners. It just made more sense to do a raise much leaner. Like, we only raised 4% of our total tokenomics. That's why we can even have a kill to earn fund where we continue paying players because we didn't raise 25% for our game like you're seeing for a lot of other projects. But, it's an interesting thought. From our perspective, we just wanted to keep full autonomy over the business relationship of our relationship with Kevru Games, which is the design studio doing all of the artwork. For those of you that don't know, they've worked on some small projects in the past, Fortnite, Star Wars, Tales of the Galaxy's Edge. So, they're heavy hitting. We wanted to continue forging that relationship and then just work fully autonomously. But for projects that are up and coming that perhaps are struggling with funding, I think it definitely could be a good option for them.
Great. Okay. What about the psyker team? Would you guys consider like listing on the Gala? Did you ever think about that?
So for us as a game studio, we're planning on launching multiple titles over a longer time period. So Psyker's just our first title that we're working on. But for us, we're based in the Solana ecosystem. And I know Gala Games is more on the Ethereum side and Binance Smart Chain. So for us, we really want to build Web3 gaming tools for the Solana ecosystem. And so we're doing that with Phantom Wallet integrations into Unreal Engine, with our online PvP matchmaking tools. And for us, there's not many game studios like us on Solana, so we're building in that ecosystem. And for us, it's about building out our own basically piece of the Solana ecosystem as a game studio. There's a lot of good platforms out there, a lot of good publishing platforms. You have Gala Games, you have Ultra, and others. And for us, we want to go multi-chain in the future, but for right now, we're focused heavily just on the Solana ecosystem.
Okay, Solana has been known for breaking down at some point, like having some blockchain and network problems. Doesn't that scare you?
Not really. I think it's actually quite good of how fast the blockchain has been bouncing back, because due to the user throughput, Solana has a lot more user volume than even Ethereum. So for it to go down for say a day or two, but then come back up is fine for us, as well as a huge a huge update was rolled out to combat all the bots going into these NFT mints, and the transactions per second has been very stable since that. There's been no throttling at all, and we're at about, I think, 5,000 to 6,000 transactions per second at the moment on Solana. So we're very confident over a long time period for Solana to perform. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So guys, for everyone that is new here, welcome to the stream. Hit that like button so more people join the Web3 Gaming Talks, and also consider subscribing for more blockchain gaming content. So the next question goes to community. Guys, community is such an important thing in every Web3 project. Doesn't matter if you have a AAA game with solid tokenomics if no one knows about its existence. So what is the best way to grow a community? Like, I've been so many projects that their strategy relies on going to Twitter and asking people to retweet, and they give money away for people to retweet, to tree winners, all this stuff. But I don't think this is the best way to actually grow a community. That's not like organic growth. So which do you think is the best strategy to grow a community? Let's go with Erick. Do you want to keep going?
I can kind of add on to that. So I do the marketing.
The stage is yours.
I do the marketing over at Psyker. So I think a lot of it is, like you mentioned, there are these kind of like these giveaways and stuff like that, and those are good to kind of grow your initial kind of following. But long term, those people aren't exactly interested. It's just they follow 100,000 projects and they kind of engage with everyone. I think a big thing for us was doing an NFT mint and kind of building a community for that. The reasons are you're getting hot leads. People are actually buying your NFT or minting your NFT or whatever else. Those guys are dedicated. Those guys have a personal, like a financial stake in your NFT, whether it's 1 SOL, 10 SOL, whatever it is. So they want your project to succeed. So on our end, we find a lot of those people kind of do retweet our content. And a large user base, as kind of already said, we ran some polls internally and stuff, and that a large user base of our NFT holders will actually go and play the game. So it's a lot different to having, like, say, 100,000 followers, but none of them own an NFT or a token or anything else. So I think having some form of token stake, whether it's an NFT or a fungible token, is super important for growth. And I think, like the more kind of NFT mints you do, and the more people own them, the more incentivized they are to actually go play the game, engage your content, share it with their friends. We've had a lot of big holders kind of bring all their friends in and like gift them an NFT or tell them to purchase one, and those guys are super loyal compared to, like you said, the giveaway kind of audience of they might follow you and retweet, but they have no financial stake in your product, right?
Yeah, that's what I also believe. Like, this strategy could be good maybe in the beginning, but then people are not really interested in the project. And then you see this on tweets of these projects, like they have 100K followers on Twitter, but check their tweets and they have like 10 likes, 3 messages. So I don't think in the long term that's the way to go. What do you think, Grant? What was your strategy in Undead Blocks when it comes to community growth?
So, I mean, you got to give people a reason to click, right? Like, you got to give them something. I appreciate all of these other projects that just continue spamming whitelist giveaways, spamming, NFT giveaways. That's not really how we're operating. We're operating at more of an institutional level, like aggressively targeting these Discords, meeting founders and working with them directly to just infiltrate their community. If you get the blessing of a founder or an admin in a Discord, I mean, that's like winning the lottery. So that's really our approach, more so than just spamming Twitter with, like you said, people are following thousands of projects. How are you going to stick out? Like, they're just going to retweet and then that's going to be it. They're really not going to engage with you. But if you infiltrate the groups where they're actually talking and having discussion, it's much easier to be able to onboard them. And again, like I said, giving away funds, having people come and try your product for free, allowing them to earn physical USD, and allowing them then to make the decision, is something I want to invest in or move on, I really think is the key.
Okay, I believe like every time you go into Discord and you can get your content there or what your project is about there, you have access to that player pool, and that's huge. That's your target audience, I believe. So, Vad, what was your strategy with the boss fighters?
Well, initially, I have to confess, we did this retweets giveaways. So this is good, as you guys mentioned, to get an initial traction, to build up the community, for the NFT sale or something like that. But right now we're switching gears towards like more Web 2 gaming and switching gears towards conventional ways of user acquisition. So that's why we want to release the game on Steam on major platforms. At least make it like so you would be able to add it to wishlist, because if you have a new game on Steam, you get 500,000 impressions a day. So
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, that's the numbers you get with the Steam, and so I think the best way to get users after you have this initial community is to ship the game in some way, so players can play like in a closed alpha stage, get some community buzz around, so make them share this video. So you need to have some meaningful and fun gameplay so they can share, onboard streamers, maybe do an invitational tournament. This is also good stuff. So you need to work with with influencers, but not Twitter influencers. More gaming influencers like streamers, players, just want to share the gameplay and talk to each other. Infiltrating Discords is also a really good thing. That's what are on our radar as well.
Okay, really interesting. Thanks for your comments. So, guys, the next question is about. I mean, you've been through a lot, right? Funding, building the game, growing the community. What are your biggest struggles while developing your Web3 games? Do you want to keep going, Vad? What were the biggest adversities that you found while building Boss Fighters from scratch?
I think the market conditions that we were right now is a really huge letdown for everyone. So it really, if you miss the timing, it becomes really hard to raise the funds. So that's one of the biggest struggles. But thankfully, we got a support from our VCs. We did a pretty successful NFT sale despite the odds. Another thing is, I think Solana development. It was like a huge pain in the ass, especially the DevNet was desyncing, and we had to set up our own DevNet nodes. So we had some problems with that. But the main issue is the tokenomics. I think this is the most important. How the token will work. So because of the way space works, you need to design everything in advance. You need to plan this game economy in advance. But this is just simply not possible. You cannot do this in advance, so you cannot tell if it work or not. You can do like an educated guess. Let's call it this way. And for funding, it's really important. So the investors, they want to see how the game will earn, but you cannot say for sure. So if it will work or not, because it is a creative process. It's also a hard thing to predict. And I think balancing all this stuff is quite a challenge in itself. Other than that, it's been really fun to be in Web3 and develop this kind of project.
Oh yeah. So what about you, Grant? What were the biggest struggles while developing your zombie shooter game?
Developing the game, I would say,
Developing?
from our perspective, we're good on cash. We're really good with user acquisition. From our perspective, it's just making sure it's, as fun as it could possibly be. Like one of the Axie founders came out and said, if a game is fun enough, but people are earning, people are going to play. And I vehemently disagree with that, because once the earning stops or the earning is, shut off, eventually your game has to be fun. We know this. So from our perspective, it's just making it as fun as hell, whether it's Easter eggs, new maps, new weapons, new game modes, keeping people engaged. Our gameplay loop has been tried and true. COD Zombies, the OG iteration, lasted 15 years and 32 maps. And so from our perspective, it is just a matter of how do we differentiate ourselves? How do we make this fun as can be? And we have to have really talented people working on this game. I mean, we survived a war in terms of, our Ukrainian workforce going to work every single day remotely and building this game from scratch. Like that was a huge challenge, a huge milestone. And we're really proud of that fact that, we didn't stop. We continuing to meet timelines and expectations. It's just a matter of how large we can grow this thing. We now have a workable, tangible product. Just a matter of making sure we can allow this thing to fly as far as it can fly.
Oh yeah, like it's. What about psychers? What was the biggest adversity we found so far?
Yeah, I think for us, the biggest part was launching an NFT collection while we were still developing the game from the get-go. So for us, we launched our NFT collection back in March. We've been developing the game since around December. So we haven't had a full year of dev cycle yet. We've had about just over 6 months. And for us, keeping the community engaged while you have an NFT collection launched without having a game as a gaming project is a challenge, because we didn't do a PFP collection. We did key cards, which essentially contain a loadout that players redeem at a later date. In the meantime, it was about keeping the community engaged. And when we first launched, there was a lot of hype because we had the trailer drop, the initial artwork, etc. It was fresh and new. But once we did the mint and the game wasn't coming out for a while, and it's not going to be out for, I guess, till the end of July. You got to keep the community engaged somehow. So for us, we're looking at doing different ways to provide utility. Staking is one of those things. So we essentially allowed our keycard holders and NFT holders to pre-mine a portion of the airdrop allocation for our token launch, and essentially starting off that pool. So when the game launches, there will be an initial token pool that players can kind of fight over. But yeah, that I think that was their biggest challenge so far. It was keeping the community engaged between our mint and our game release.
Oh yeah, I think that some projects, probably you guys suffered these, was like they were very unlucky with the timing. Like current crypto market sentiment is quite negative. People are afraid, and yeah, it's kind of hard to like sell out NFT collection or tokens during these crypto market conditions. Especially if you're still developing the game. I think it's easier when you have like already a product like that people can play. It's a bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think the being able to buy an NFT and then go immediately use it in some type of product, I think, or in our case, a game, that's huge, because that's kind of the whole ethos we're providing with item ownership for a video game. So by having a disconnect over, say, a 6-month period, it's during a bear market too. Yes, it provides some challenges for sure.
Yeah, I think we're also transitioning. Like 2 years ago, when I started in Web3 Gaming, 2 years ago, every project was doing this. They just had a light paper. It was really the beginning of Web3 Gaming. But now I feel like projects are doing the NFT sales, the IDOs closer to the game launch. So I think that's also something that is changing right now in Web3 Gaming. So what are these for? These are the key cards you were talking about, right? So with this, you're going to get like some item inside the game?
Yeah, so the metadata you see there where it says weapon, arms, chest, headgear, those are actually items that you will be able to equip your fighter with. So in terms of marketing the key cards, I think it's a bit complex for some users to understand, because they buy this key card, they don't understand that the metadata is actually another 5 items they'll be able to mint to equip to their fighter when the game releases. So even if you have say a common key card and not a legendary one, there still could be a very rare item in your common key card. So it's worthwhile to own both rare.
Interesting.
Yeah, it just means like mythics and legendaries have overall a higher rarity with all 5 items, but you could have a mythic item in your common key card. And for us, I think when the game launches and people understand after they register and link their wallets and they understand, okay, this key card now has these items contained within it. Okay, cool. I'm going to go get more key cards because I didn't know that before. Because it's different to explain it from, I guess, in written over a medium like Twitter versus actually showing them by them doing it and attaching their wallet and seeing the items populate. So I think when the game launches, people will start nabbing these up quite quickly.
Quite nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I think so. Those 5 items you won't get out of the gate instantly. You'll have to mint them over a cooldown. You can mint them over a cooldown for free, one at a time, or you can pay with tokens a fee to unlock the items immediately and then be able to use them.
Okay, quite nice. Vad, did you already answer the question? No, I got a bit lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was the first answer the question.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Bruno, I have a hard stop at 11, so I'm going to exit. I'll let you guys keep going. But again, always a pleasure being on the herd. Appreciate you guys having me. Check out our beta if you haven't downloaded it. And Bruno, you're always the man.
Yeah. Thank you, Grant, for showing up. It's always a pleasure, guys. Check out Undead Blocks. You can find the link in the description and also subscribe to the Crypto Herd because we already have a bunch of content about Undead Blocks and we're not stopping anytime soon. So you can access all the content we have about this amazing shooter game.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Grant. Thanks for showing up. So, guys, what's next for your projects? What's the next step? Do you want to tell us a bit, Vad? What's going to happen now? What's next for Boss Fighters? Is it the game release? Is it the open beta? Are you going to sell more NFTs? What's going to happen?
Oh, lots of stuff is going to happen in the coming months. So first of all, we're gonna update the website, new visuals, new visual style, more like fun, wonky shapes. I really like how it's shaping right now. So we'll update the website. It will be an entrance point to the portal, to the Web3 part of the Boss Fighters. As I mentioned, we need to have a separate part, Web3 part on a separate platform, and the website will be an entry point to this platform. There we will have staking. We actually have already developed the staking version 1 on Solana. We finalizing the QA process, and once it's done, probably we'll release staking next week for the NFTs, staking for the NFTs. Next big thing we will be doing, and I think we need to update this roadmap here on the website, right? And next big thing is the release of the closed alpha for the NFT holders and for our VR users. So we'll do a marketing campaign for across some big VR platforms. We want to bring as many VR users as possible to test the core gameplay with the VR users. We'll probably do some referral program for our NFT holders so they can get something in return for owning NFTs right away. So that's one of the big milestones we have ahead. Closed out release, Steam page release, new website, first iteration of our Web3 portal for Boss Fighters, where we have staking and all the Web3 related stuff.
So, okay, you're going to be able to stake the NFTs and get some tokens, right? That's going to be one of the next coming features.
Yeah, but you won't get the tokens right away. You get like temporary tokens that because we don't have
you exchange.
We don't have the TG event yet because of the market conditions. We don't want to release the token yet. We want to wait until we have enough in-game features that support the token utility, and we want to wait until the market recovers. Then we release the token, but by staking NFTs, you would be able to earn special like temporary reward tokens that later you can swap to Boss Fighter tokens. And you can also participate in VR headset raffle, which is on our NFT roadmap as well. So we'll be giving away a few VR headsets for people to join the boss fight. We also have like planned 2 NFT collections. And none of them will be sold. So they will be offered in a different way. Next collection will be offered for staking tokens when the token released. And we also have the boss collection, but it will be released like closer to the holidays.
Oh, quite cool. So the NFTs are like playable characters in your game, and
right.
you get a bunch of perks by owning these NFTs, right?
Exactly. So they act as a battle pass essentially. So if you own this NFT, you get most of the stuff in game unlocked right away. So not only it is a cool character, it is exactly how it looks in the game, but you get a bunch of perks for staking.
So I'm seeing here different prices. Why are there different prices? Just because of like cosmetic differences, or are there like some NFTs that give you like better benefits than others?
Actually, there is only one trait that affects the staking performance. It is called title. We have debutants, fight challengers, fighters, gladiators, and legends. And these
Okay.
are different tiers, so they affect staking performance. So when you stake NFT, if it is a fighter or a gladiator, it yields you more tokens, and it also unlocks like more stuff. But in terms of gameplay performance, because
It's the
we
same.
want to be on a competitive side, yeah, we don't want to give anyone kind of unfair benefit. So we don't want to be this pay to win basically.
So these ones are all the same rarity. They say boss fighters rowdy. Means they're all
Yeah,
the same.
this is the first collection. Rowdies, this is the first collection. These are fly screen
Ah,
characters. They're called Rowdies. But if you click on any of them, you will see the metadata. Uh,
oh yeah. There's lots of stuff actually. Lots of properties.
right, right.
Okay, really cool. Nice, nice. What about psyker? What's the next step for these amazing projects? Is it the closed alpha the next big milestone?
Yeah, for us, it's our closed alpha that we'll be launching here in the next few weeks, closer to the end of July. What the closed alpha will entail is PvP online arcade mode, so essentially regional-based matchmaking with wallet integration. You'll be able to verify your keycard's contents and equip them to your character. But those items will not be standalone NFTs yet. They'll just simply be for testing purposes of the wallet integration in the closed alpha. During the open beta, then that you'll actually be able to own and trade your NFTs at that point. But currently speaking, you're just going to be utilizing them in the closed alpha for gameplay testing purposes. So we're pretty excited for that. And then post that, we're going to be launching some of our tools. So currently we have staking, but we're also building our app out for player registration, marketplace, etc. So those are kind of our major things over the summer that we'll be undertaking.
Okay. So guys, we're going to have community questions in like just a few minutes. So guys, drop your community questions. Any question you might have about Web3 gaming or specific questions for Vad, CEO of Boss Fighters, or for Lucas and Eric from the Psyker team, let us know in the comments section, okay? So Eric, you actually mentioned there's going to be like PvE and PvP. Do you want to tell us more about the gameplay of Psyker?
Yeah, so we want replayability, whether you're a PvP player or just want to play against AI. So for us, we're not at alpha or even closed beta for that matter, but version 1 release of Psyker will be releasing story mode, which is essentially going to be multi-staged, hours long campaign mode where players will play through the story against NPC bosses at different levels of AI difficulty, and you'll be able to complete quests and challenges to earn rewards that way. So the replayability there will be completing daily and weekly quests throughout the story mode after you complete it and want to continuously go through it. On top of that, in arcade mode, you'll be able to play against AI, not just players, but AI as well, and you'll be able to farm against AI via quests and challenges there too. So in terms of replayability, we think that it gives players a way to kind of not be so sweaty in PvP all the time, but just let them enjoy the game world by completing quests that have lore attached, interacting with NPCs in the social space and vendors, and just playing against AI at a more casual pace.
But I don't know if you've talked about it. How's the PvP going to work? Are we going to have like leather boards with different tiers? How
Yeah,
is that
so
going to work?
we have 3 PvP modes. So we have
The competitive side.
arcade mode, which is essentially no skill-based matchmaking, randomization, and then with your NFTs, all their bonus attributes actually affect it. So it's going to be very randomized, where you could have a player that's not very good with fully kitted out armor and weapons going up against a skilled player, and it provides a fresh level of gameplay that I think players are lacking nowadays with all these skill-based matchmaking. across all games and even in casual play. But then we have a ranked mode, which is essentially a seasonal ladder system where players will be able to go from bronze all the way up to diamond, grandmaster based on an elo rating, and there'll be prizes and rewards for each stage that you kind of go through. And as a game studio, we're setting aside a set allocation of tokens every season to rewards players with, as well as some NFT items. And then the third mode for PvP, which we're the most excited for, is our wagering mode, which we call degen mode, which allows two players in PvP to wager their own tokens against each other in a one-off game. So high stakes, essentially playing for pink slips.
Oh yeah, looks good. So don't tell us more, Ved, about Boss Fighters gameplay. Is it going to be like always 4 players or 5 players against the boss, or are we going to have different game modes? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, we'll have different game mods. Right now, we're working on this core gameplay. The main gameplay mod that showcases the main selling point, this boss against fighters. But having VR and flat screen players allows us to be flexible with the game mods. So we can develop VR exclusive game mods like a sandbox with a physics, because it is a physics-based gameplay. Or we can develop flat screen exclusive game mods like PvE game mods in the future. But more likely, the release schedule will be like, we'll have this competitive game mod, arcade game mod where you match against random players, rank game mode where you earn rank points. Same thing as Eric mentioned, we'll have the competitive side, so you basically pledge your tokens and compete. So and VR boss, if it wins, it gets a bigger share, because we want to cherish our VR players. We want to expand their playbase. So they actually, the best way to earn in our game is to be a VR player, because we even have this small move turn aspect. So if you just play in the game, you can get a few bucks here and there for completing this daily quest, essentially, like toss a flat screen player 10 times, or destroy 5 buildings during the battles. And completing the small challenges, it affects the progression. There will be multiple weapons. We actually have this gameplay build available. We have yet showed it to the public. All the footage is shown is quite an old build. Once we release the site, we release the new trailer, and we want to blow everyone away with graphics and
if you want, you can show it now. You can show it now if you want. Do you have it there with you?
Not yet. It's still in development. We're polishing the graphics. Yeah, we have our graphics team working on this. So we really want to blow you away with the quality of the gameplay.
So guys, if you have like any footage you want to share, feel free to do so. Okay, we have here 100 people watching. They're crazy about your Web3 games. They want to know more. They want to know what's coming. So if you want to share something, let me know, and we share here your screen.
Hey Bruno, I gotta hop off here. I have another meeting I gotta get to, but Lucas will stay on for Psyker, and
I'll answer the questions on our end. We don't really have anything to share. Obviously, end of the month is when our kind of our pre-alpha or alpha keycard launch will be. So yeah, apart from that, I'm ready to answer any questions.
Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it, and look forward to sharing more in the future. Cheers.
It was a pleasure, Eric. You're always welcome to the Crypto Herd. See you around.
Bye.
I also have only a few minutes left. I need to join the call with our gaming advisor from Gameloft to talk about new iteration of our economy.
Okay. So yeah, I don't think we have any community questions. Is there anything else you guys want to share with us? We still have lots of people watching right now about your Web3 gaming projects. Anything you want to tell us that we didn't talk about?
Oh, my end, I think pretty clear, and and end of July is our keycard alpha. So be sure to pick up a keycard from any of the NFT marketplaces on Solana, and that's about it. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, really. Damn, end of July, that's almost here. So guys, if you want to check like Boss Fighters, Undead Blocks, Psyker. We have the links in the description. Also consider subscribing for more Web3 gaming content. We have a Web3 gaming talks every 15 days with the CEOs themselves. Okay, so guys, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss these outs. Okay. So Lucas, Vad, thanks a lot for showing up. Okay. Also, guys, who's watching this, thanks a lot for being here with us. It was a pleasure, truly. Subscribe for more NFT gaming content, and see you in the metaverse.